Hey guys, so this is the CCZ SOLO, a pair of dynamic driver in-ear monitors that are super affordable, coming in at less than $20, and I think after having used them that these are okay to pretty good for beginners at best, but for more serious listeners, I don't think they're that great. So let me tell you why. First things first, let's get the unboxing out of the way. So as you can see, it comes in a really tiny eco-friendly packaging, pretty bare bones and nothing fancy at all. Sliding off the outer cover, inside we get some paperwork, few pairs of silicone ear tips of various sizes, the oxygen-free copper cable that has 2-pin connectors on one end, and the version I have comes with an inline microphone with a multifunction control button, and it ends in a 3.5mm L-shaped audio jack. And of course you get the CCZ SOLO in-ear monitors themselves. Now as for the specs of the CCZ SOLO, so these have a single dynamic driver in each of the in-ear monitors, and it's got an impedance of 20 ohms. So again, these are really low impedance in-ear monitors. Your phone could drive them provided they have a nice DAC, but if you want them to sound the best they possibly can with the maximum volume that they can possibly produce, as always I suggest that you use a portable DAC, nothing too fancy or expensive, just something that can make sure that these can perform to their full potential without leaving anything in the tank, and what you get is just the best audio quality possible. And as always, the one that I personally use will be linked in the description below. Now as for the build quality of the CCZ SOLO, so it's a mixture of resin, and I think the faceplate is also plastic. I'm not too sure because they have another version, the black one, where the faceplate is metal. But this feels like plastic to the touch, so I'm not too sure about that. Either way, it's pretty light and ergonomic, very comfortable to the ear as well. And even for long listening sessions, I had no issues. Now, one thing that is new to the design, at least for me, is that the part that is going to be resting on your ear, they've got this rubber accent over there, and that kind of helps it stay in place. Even when I was taking walks, I was out and about, there was a lot of movement, this rubber accent kind of helped stabilize the IEM in my ear, and I think that was pretty helpful. Now what I don't like is the flimsy cable quality. It is really flimsy, very thin, and it just doesn't give you that assurance that it's gonna last for quite some time. Now as for the inbuilt microphone, it is decent, nothing great, nothing to rave about. It's standard, and when I was taking calls on these, so long as the microphone was close to my mouth, so my calls or my voice was pretty clear on the other end. Alright, now with all of that out of the way, let's talk about the main criteria, which is the audio quality. Now you guys know I judge in-ear monitors based on how they produce the 3 major frequencies that broadly make up any sound that you hear: the highs, the mids, and the lows. The highs are the treble response, where the really sharp sounding instruments are, the mids where the vocals are, and the low end or the bass response. Alright, starting off with the highs or the treble response. So the treble response is very sharp, but it lacks detailed retention, and that takes away a lot from the grandeur of the track. Now while it has a lot of clarity, but the roll-off, especially in the ultra-high frequencies, is not the smoothest. At high volumes, especially near peak volume, it shows stress. But this can be mitigated by keeping the volume to around 75 to 80%, which I think is the sweet spot, but anything above that, and it's not pleasant. So what happens is, the moment you go near 90 or 100% volume, the treble gets harsh, and it gets harsh fast, almost sibilant. So for treble sensitive individuals, it's going to be very unpleasant. Not unbearable, but unpleasant. So what I found overall was that the treble response lacks richness and control over its rendition. Next up, we have the mid frequencies where the vocals are. Now the mid frequencies give a lot of preference to the upper mids, which could be a hit or miss depending on your preference. For me, it was a miss, because whenever I've seen an IEM giving preference to the upper mids, it consequently makes the male vocals thin, and that's something I do not enjoy at all. It also misses the mark when it comes to the warmth and natural tonality of the vocals, and this is something that makes it sound ever so slightly hollow. Now instruments, especially stringed instruments like guitars, they sound okay, but not great. Once again, what they lack is warmth and depth. But they're not terrible, it's just that there is plenty of room for improvement here. Now at peak volume, the highs and the upper mids seem to collide, and that is not a very pleasant experience. So once again, the sweet spot is that 75 to 80% volume. And finally we get to the low end or the bass response. Now the low end is evidently very mid-bass heavy, giving you a lot of that mid-bass slam. But the bass lacks texture, and it shows signs of stress at higher volumes, which I've seen many other reviewers noting as well. And sadly, there was no rumble of the sub-lows that it could produce consistently, so don't expect that, and that again takes away from that immersive experience, especially in tracks that I know have that sub-low rumble. It was not able to produce that consistently. But on a positive note, the bass response maintained its separate lane. It did not eat into the mids and the higher frequencies, and overall, it gave a warm signature to the track you're listening to. Now, as for the soundstage on the Solo, the soundstage wasn't very wide. Honestly, it was kind of narrow and the imaging wasn't good. So I would not recommend these to gamers because you'd definitely be at a disadvantage. So I wouldn't say these are terrible, but I've definitely heard better at this price point. So just to summarize, the CCZ Solo makes a genuine attempt to give you a robust, warm sounding in-ear monitor at a very affordable price tag. And I can find myself only recommending this to an absolute beginner or to someone who's making a shift from, those cheap wireless earbuds. But for anyone else, someone who's more serious, someone who's used to in-ear monitors, I am having a hard time recommending this because there are definitely better options out there at this price point, and I'm sure CCZ themselves can do much better if they fix these issues that I've mentioned in this review. So there you have it, guys. That was my review of the CCZ Solo. If you have any other questions regarding this, do let me know in the comment section below. As always, the link to this and all other in-ear monitors and audio accessories will be given in the description. I would really appreciate if you use those links to make your purchase. You have my word, it will never cost you anything extra, but you guys will be helping me run this channel, and I can always make such high quality and helpful content just for you guys. So thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share this video, and as always, I'll catch you guys very soon in the next one. Cheers.